Hello, my name's Andy and I'm a gambling addict. Last bet 14th of April 2007. Hi guys and girls, I hope you're all doing well. Been a busy couple of weeks for me. As you can see, I'm not at my best today. I've got a bit of a cold on and a bit of a sore throat, but I'll rumble on as always. I'm doing alright. Been busy with work. I did 10 hours yesterday on a Saturday, and then after that I went to do my volunteering as well at the night bus, like a mental health cafe for like people to drop in and have a bit of a chat or a bit of a quiet. So it was always nice to go there as well. Kids football's took up this weekend again. Liam's games and Joel's today. Ended up reffing one and a half of the game, so it's always nice to get involved as always with the kids. I had a decent trip up to Leeds on Tuesday. Went to see Sky Bet and did a little podcast with them for one of the guys called Will Ridley, who works for Sky Bet, who's around the safer gambling, responsible gambling initiatives. So just kind of like share my story really on a podcast and things like that. Hi Mark, nice to see you here. If anyone's watching back from the previous vlogs, Mark was one of my guests. So feel free to hit back and have a look at one of the old vlogs with Mark on. You can listen to his story again. Yeah, so I just shared that. Then I went to the brand new to like the launch event of the NHS Northern Gambling Clinic in Leeds on Tuesday evening, which was a great event. Just listen to all the passionate speakers on there, Matt Gaskell, amongst others, talking during the forum, and also hearing Anne Evans's words as well, which are always quite humbling to hear. Unfortunately, she had a son who killed himself through gambling addiction, and she's worked quite tirelessly to promote education and help with regards to gambling addiction. So it was great to be at the event. Nice to see that it could be a very positive effect on a lot of people who may be struggling as well. Hi Trevor, hope you're doing well, buddy. Yeah, so hopefully that'll take off. Apparently there's going to be 2 more clinics in Manchester and in Sunderland as well. It's coming soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be this year or next, but hopefully there'll be more and more these NHS clinics, because the help is needed. Obviously we do have Gambler's Illness and Gam Care, Break Even, Beacon Counselling, Aquarius, and various other ways to, if you know what I mean, as well. Hi, yeah, I remember who you are. I can't pronounce your first name because it sounds very Welsh. But yeah, very good to see you here. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've caught up on quite a few of the vlogs as well. So it's nice to see you talking on here. Hope you get enough out of the chat, the live chat, and what you might hear. You might hear something that might help. So more the merrier on here. What I would say is people network with each other. Feel free to follow me on Twitter and ask me questions privately if you wish. At Barrymed79. You'll find me on there, just probably tweeting a lot about football and the state of how poor my football team was yesterday. Yeah, I'm always about, I think it's best to keep talking, get stuff off your chest. Instead of acting on that urge, actually get hold of it, talk about it. Better to talk about it instead of acting on it. Otherwise, it can lead you down to a really bad path, really low path, again, to gambling. I didn't just stop on the first instance. People have slips. I mean, I tried to stop from about January 2007 for about 3-4 months on my own. And every time I got a couple of weeks, I thought, yeah, I think I cracked it. A little bet won't do any harm. And then before I know it, I'm balls deep into my wages again. And it's all gone again without thinking about what I've got to pay out for. Okay. If you want to explain how you've nearly slipped up this weekend and how you did to like rectify that, and you didn't gamble at the end of the day, so that is an amazing kind of thing to do. You've got through that slip, that initial phase of like having that urge. So if you want to share how you beat that urge, please do. A lot of people might end up actually taking heart from what you've just said and thinking, how's he managed to get through that if somebody's probably struggling and probably had a slip this weekend. Hi John, I've just seen you on Twitter message as well, that's fantastic. For you to come involved, feel free to get involved on the live chat if you can. If not, just tweet out some something on Twitter, and I'll try and read it the best I can when the notification pops up. But yeah, God, I am sounding quite nasally and bad today, aren't I? But I'll be alright. This week, I'm on days this week, so I'm doing 10-hour shifts Monday to Friday. So what's nice is I can get around and catch up on the kids' football on a Wednesday and Thursday for the training and stuff. Because quite a lot of times I don't get to that. It's usually my wife sorting it out, or one of the other parents taking them, if you know what I mean. So it's swimming on Friday as well, which is good. I just had a big going to go, but I remember the feeling when I lost everything in the 29th. Sometimes that's all it takes, remembering that feeling where you lost everything. I know it sounds awful when we try and hark back to those bad times, but that stopped you from having a bet, and you should applaud yourself and pat yourself on the back, because 21 days is a massive achievement. It's hard, don't get me wrong. Like I say, those first 3 or 4 months, I slipped continuously. From January to April 2007, like every few weeks I was like buzzing, stop off gambling, and all of a sudden back on it again, and back on it again, and back on it again. Trick is to make your recovery as simple as possible. Don't complicate it. Don't draw into the think about why you did things, or what do I do if I did that, and why, what, something like that. It was a load of what battery. Just keep it simple. Get them blocks in place, like GamStop, GamBan app, GamBlock, if it's all online, self-exclude from bookmakers, self-exclude from casinos, whatever your type of gambling was. Or is best to be safe than sorry, make it as difficult as you can to not gamble. And every day it passes by, life does get better. Those first 6-12 months are always the hardest. I'll admit that. People know my story inside out. But my story is that Boxing Day story where instead of like putting 20 quid on something, I had 20 quid with the Chinese. A cycle ride, feel 10 times. That's brilliant, Trevor. Yeah, you go for a cycle ride, feel 10 times better afterwards. You're out of the way. You're gonna spend a couple of hours out of the way doing something you enjoy. As you say, yeah, paydays. There's a lot of thing around paydays as well, because it's always a bit of a pressure. You're counting down the days to when you do get paid, and it's only natural, and that's for people who are not gambling addicts as well, and who do live by it, if you know what I mean, live by the buy, and very like hand to mouth and stuff and all that. Like, you count down days to get paid. I know I have. Hi Simon, slip past me once I've done 2 weeks without a bet now. Stop for it. It can never be too complacent, Simon, if you know what I mean. It can slip up. It can slip up at any point. I've known people who've been off years, and I read a sad story the other day that someone had been off 7 years and decided to have a small bet, and it just spiraled out of control again. It made it awful for him again. But you're not alone in doing what you've done, Simon. But you're 2 weeks off now again. That's good. Maybe focus on why you was off for 18 months and how you managed to go 18 months, because that is a fantastic achievement without gambling, when you're probably thinking about doing it every day. I'd say, Owen, yet someone can split after 15 years. I mean, I always say I never can say never, I'll ever gamble again, but I know my recovery's in a decent place. I've just gone over 12.5 years now, but never be too complacent. I'm not trying to scare people or anything and all that, but the longer your recovery gets on, the better it does get, and that's from my own viewpoint. I'm talking about my own recovery. I'm not talking about anybody else's. I can't vouch for anybody else's, so to speak. Everyone's got different ways of recovering. Everyone's different ways of stopping gambling and stuff and all like that. And I try and respect that the best I can. As I say, I mean, I went through GA, and I'm actually going to be at a GA meeting tomorrow in Chesterfield. I'm going to celebrate somebody's 5-year pinning. So hopefully it'd be nice to see him again. I haven't seen him for a bit, if you know what I mean. No, if you slipped up after slow, what should you tell people? I'd be honest, Owen. I'd tell him if I did gamble, I'll be brutally honest. The only way to be. If you do split up, tell somebody about it. Be honest, for me. Otherwise, you're just going to go down that rope of lying again, and that vicious circle. And if you keep lying, you're going to gamble more. If you do have that slip, you go again. You can beat this. You can fight this addiction. Just got to keep simple as you can. Trip to Blackpool with your downfall, Simon. So maybe think about what you could like if you did have a kind of a trip and a trigger, probably go to the seaside or something like that next time, Simon. Maybe think about to what blocks you can get in place, what barriers you can get in place without gambling. Maybe not try and carry any money or anything like that at all. Somebody else who maybe know they are a gambling addict that can help you while you're there. Hi, Rare Cockney Governor. 4 months not gambling today. That's a massive achievement, mate. Well done. I'm glad for you. Buzzing for you, buddy. How you feeling? I like to see how people are feeling as well. So feel free to talk about how you're feeling for 4 months not gambling. And people who have slipped, talk about how you're feeling with that as well. Because I know it's selfish of me, but it does help me as well to listen to all kind of recoveries and where you are, if you've not slipped, if you have slipped, if you're years down the line, if you're a week down the line as well. Because I'm still listening, I'm still learning about how other people tick as well, so to speak. And hopefully others might help. It might help others as well. I always talk about that light bulb moment. Always talk about that because it's the one thing that might help you trigger to start, but you think, wow, yeah. Mine was the hammer to the PC at 4:30 in the morning after doing 600 quid on pocket twos on poker. That was my light bulb moment. That's brilliant. Yeah, not lying because of gambling. You're being honest. And as I say, if you do slip, people talk about it. Say you have slipped. The reaction might not be the best, and I get that. I totally get that. Everyone's circumstances are different. Hi, Mike. Pretty much 2 years clear. That's an amazing achievement, mate. Again, kick me down, but also pick me up again. I just do myself to keep busy. Yeah, sometimes it's the best way, Mike, just to keep busy, keep talking. I don't know what your situation is if you're struggling emotionally and stuff like that, and you don't have to share it, of course. But well done on your 2 years clear. And we know if you have a rough few days, rough few weeks, and some triggers out there, you've still not gambled. Whatever emotions you've gone through, Mike, whatever bad parts of your life you've gone through, you've got through another period of time without gambling, and that can be applauded. Pat yourself on the back, mate. That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, as you say, I can't think of making you mentally unwell. I was rough. I was terrible. I was having chest pains. I was having panic attacks when I was like coming up to it when I wanted to stop, and I knew I had a problem and stuff, but I didn't know how to deal with it. Used to be argumentative. Used to lash out in an argument sense, not violent or anything like that. I used to be very snappy, very horrible, and I had tunnel vision. Life was a complete blur. I thought no one was like me. I thought the whole world was caving in. I remember when I was telling my wife Becky and my mum and dad as well, and I felt absolutely horrific, but at the same time I felt a massive weight off my chest as well, lifted off. I felt relief in a daft kind of way. It started to release the stress and anger. That started to subside, if you know what I mean. And I started to feel better for like being honest. The first time when I told about my gambling, the first time I wasn't a liar for like 2, 3, 4 years. I felt relief in a strange kind of way. It felt kind of surreal that I told the truth, because I used to believe me all my own lies, and I thought I was really good at it. But looking back, you think, why did I lie about all that? I couldn't believe. I was like in free fall, so to speak. I was like, like some of the lies I told. Exactly, Owen, as well. The hard bit is gambling makes you consistently high or low. Like I say, you have a high, low, there's nothing in between. And that's where I strive to be in the recovery. I've always said this since day one. You strive to be flatlining, you know, like when you're dead on a heart monitor or something like that. I just want to flatline like that. I don't want it going up and down, up and down, up and down. I try and do all I want life to be boring in a ridiculous kind of way. It sounds daft really, but that's how I feel. That's how I want to be. Boring. Pay the bills. Look after the family. Have some fun times with my kids and stuff like that. No problem. Yeah, you can't beat being honest, Red Cockney Grover. Cheers. No problem, Mike. But the only time I seem to feel happy is when I'm penniless, because I know I can't gamble then. And that's like a barrier in it as well. And you're not the only one who's said that to me before, Simon. There's a lot of people who say that. But when you do have a bit of money, maybe think about how you manage that cash. Is anybody can help you manage that cash? Anyone can like try and keep you away from the gambling and help your recovery. End of the day, it's our recoveries, and you've got to make sure you stay away, because no one can do it for you. It is down to us, end of the day, down to us to take the responsibility required to stop gambling. There's some, like I say, many wonderful ways to stop, many wonderful help places to go to, like GamCare as well, Gordon Moody as well, and gambling therapy. There is some fantastic little bits out there. I mean, there's some little citizens of advice stuffs going out. I know there's one for the East Midlands now, so a bit of a shout out to that. And I've seen quite a few who follow me on Twitter that they're springing up around the country, and they go around little like university events, and obviously with regards to it, citizens advice as well. I think you can pop along, and then they'll give you like point you in the right direction to what kind of help you want to require as well. I just hope sometime in the future that the NHS clinics open up in the Midlands for me, in Derby, Nottingham and Leicester. Obviously we've got stuff down, a bit down in the south in London, a bit in the north now in Leeds, probably Manchester and Sunderland soon. Hopefully Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, South West, everywhere gets it eventually. That'll be a dream for me to see. So it'll be more and more help there if needed. Also with regards with my beliefs as well, with regards to education as well, I'd love to see it on the state curriculum. Like, obviously, I've talked about this loads and loads of times. I know it's boring for a lot of people to hear me repeat this, but we teach the dangers of drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, STIs in schools, and people will still make that choice then after. Believe gambling should be on there as well. Show what harms it can cause, and then we can reduce the harms when we talk to kids in schools. I'd say from like 12, 13, 14 onwards, what the possible consequences of gambling addiction can happen, and what the dangers of gambling can be, and give people like a level choice then, their own personal choice, because I'm not one for nannying people at all. If people want to gamble, people will gamble, and I've got to remember 99% of this country are fine with gambling. Some of them don't gamble at all. Some have a tenner on the lottery a week. Some people have a bit more on the football or horse racing or whatever and all that. Like, I'm not here to limit people doing what they do, if you know what I mean. End of the day, it's my problem with gambling. It's my recovery, and I can't go shouting and raving at people to say change this, change that, just because of my own failings. I'm just going to catch up with some of the messages I've had through this year due to complete. It brings you down to everything. Looking back, yeah, as you say, Trevor, being overconfident, and I see it lots of times where people think they've had, after 6 or 7 months, thinking, yeah, they've cracked it, leave GA or leave the GamCare or whatever help they require, go it alone. Then you probably see people back in about 18 months or so who are just in a bad situation again. It's complacency. Now they try and get complacent. It's like I could have 5k in my bank but would risk too much to win 20. Yeah, that's a very good point, Simon. Again, like I say, I bring up the analogy of like wanting a new pair of trainers. I had 80 quid to pay for a brand new pair of trainers, but I thought if I could win that 80 quid, then my trainers would be free. And then 300 quid later, I've got no trainers and I've got no money. So yeah, I totally get that point, Sam. That's a very good, nice little comment there. Overconfidence is a big problem. After seeing as you say, Owen. Yeah, after a few months, free. You're quite right. Just not be complacent. Make sure them barriers up, especially when you get them urges, because they do come and go. Blocks are the key. Talk about time, money and opportunity, that triangle. Take one of them out of the equation and you're not going to gamble. All three of them together and you're going to gamble. Filling spare time is very important, Mark. Like I say, I do a lot of running, I do my vlogging, talk to people. Obviously, I'm with my kids a lot as well, doing sports activities and whatnot, and I'm in a bit of family time, so a lot of that takes up the time. So exactly, Mark. Exactly, Simon, cracked it. I can spare £5 and then £200 later. It's refreshing for me to hear these stories of like everyone's in a very. It shows to me you're not alone. Everyone's having that same kind of thinking pattern when they are gambling and stuff and all that. Like thinking it's okay. I think I've cracked it after a few months, and I always talk about it's always there on your shoulder. I totally get why people say they're cured from it and stuff and all that. Like after a number of years, that's fine. Everyone wants to believe what they want to believe. I'm one of these who's just say I'm 99% certain I'll never gamble again. It's always got to keep that 1% in check. Luckily for me, them urges have gone for me. But I do remember, excuse me, in those first 6, 12 months, 18 months, those urges and what I've got to do to stay away. And I did have those what ifs. I have a few quid, I should be alright, and things like that. But no, I stayed away. Try not to be complacent. Spent 20 quid on a Chinese on Boxing Day because it got £20 out of my pocket. It's daft. We do some of the daft things we do to stay away from the gamble if we've got money in a pocket and things and all that. Like, I took the money element out of that time, money opportunity that day, and I didn't gamble. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think regulation and stuff with regards PayPal and Skrill, is it, and things like that. I don't know a lot about like the banking systems and how can people pay to do the gambling and stuff and all like that. But I do believe that them kind of versions of payment methods are being looked at by regulation and things and all like that. I'm sorry to see you being made redundant, Mike. I hope you do find other work quickly, or if you have, brilliant. Let's have a few. Sorry. Sorry, I'm sneezing like mad today. I don't have the urges anymore. Occasional fleeting thought. Okay, yeah. So for you, Mike, you just remember recovery. What you've got to do to stay away from gambling. Those blocks are going to be important because if you're not got work, then you might have a bit more time on your hands as well. Because for me, time's the biggest killer. Time, money, and opportunity mixed together, you're going to gamble. Break that link. Talk to somebody if you're getting that urge, Mike. Feel free to contact me as well. Been there many times, like fibre is never enough. As you say, Trevor. There is a bank called Monzo. Where it can block gambling transactions, and you have to phone up to get them back on as well. So you always got that other extra little barrier to stop yourself as well, and a bit of a cooling off period as well. I don't know how many other banks. Some other banks are looking at probably blocking gambling transactions. I know. I think Lloyd's are doing something, and Barclays are doing something as well, but it's at their own request. All gamblers' brains are progressed exact same. I don't know, Simon, to be honest. All I can say about is for my own recovery and what that addiction did to me and stuff and all that lot. All I'd say is read and talk to as many addicts as you can and come to your own conclusions, really. My mobile phone payment said me, can't afford it, just add it to the phone bill. Yeah, another way as well. Hopefully someone from the industry or someone from the regulators is watching this, because they'll be getting some very good information here regarding stuff and all that lot. The Gambling Commission regularly put out like surveys out saying it might be good to have a quick read through the surveys and actually take part in stuff, because they're always looking for ideas, always looking for ways to make life better as well. Oh, did they, Owen? I didn't know. Starling's another as well, Mark. Yeah. They've got like a gambling block transaction as well. But I think that might be the way forward for people, just be another block, if you know what I mean. Okay, I mean, I wasn't aware of that. It might be something totally unrelated to gambling and stuff and all that, so I can't really comment. Hi Sean, nice to see you, mate. Congrats on the latest anniversary, by the way. You messaged me the other week. Brilliant, mate. You keep going, you keep grafting on your recovery. You do fantastic. What I will do as well, point you towards like the NHS Leeds and York gambling clinic on there. There's quite a few stories and quite a few videos on there. Mine's on there where I had mine filmed. There's also Chris Murphy's darts commentator. That's a very good one. Kelly Field, Ann and Keith Evans, and there's a couple of others on there as well, which are really good. just little mini stories of how what gambling addiction can do and what it can cause, and the aftermath of it. It can be good, can be bad, can be indifferent, and give them a watch. Get on that website, and if you're in the north of England and you think you need another bit of help, you need to be referred, get to that NHS clinic in Leeds. Get to that NHS clinic down south if you're down south as well, in London. There is some fantastic help out there. There's lots of hope. You can beat this. You can fight this addiction with all its might. You can really make it. It's nice to see so many comments on here. That's no problem, Sean. Mate, you've done well. You're doing your inspiration to others, mate, with your recovery as well. It's an amazing achievement. Hand on heart, it's amazing. I love seeing people getting through to the anniversaries and keep on fighting recovery, trying to lead normal, great lives. And you can make it. The next vlog will be in 2 weeks on Sunday. That'll be on the, is it the 10th of November? No, it'll be the 2nd of November. That'll be my last one whilst I'm 39. Because I'm 40 on the 8th of November, so I've got a nice big 4-day weekend planned in for that. There might be some boozing, might be a lot of partying, might be a lot of family time, might be a lot of eating as well. So I'm looking forward to being 40. Age is just a number. Couldn't give a toss about it, to be fair. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm probably going to wrap this up now because it's gone a bit quiet. So thank you very much for everyone attending this evening's vlog. It's great to have you all on. I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm still looking for more volunteers, more vlog people. I might have somebody on in 2 weeks live with me. I'm going to talk to them this week, see if they fancy it. If anybody else is interested, I am Derby based obviously, but I will travel within reason of somewhere in the Midlands, pretty much, or like just South Yorkshire, or just below Leicester or something like that. I don't mind. Feel free to get in touch with me at barrowman79. I'm always knocking about on Twitter. That's the best place where you can find me. Publicly or privately, please message me. If you want to wish to stay anonymous, please do. I respect people's anonymity. I know it's difficult to come out. It took me 9 years to fully come out publicly with my gambling addiction. I didn't want to rush things or anything like that. If anybody wants to share the story, all I'd say, I'd encourage you to do it. Be comfortable in what you want to say, what you want to do. You will get people message you for help and advice and stuff and all that if you want that on as well. More the merrier for me, but if you don't want to, that's fine. If you want to write stuff down anonymously, that's brilliant as well. So thank you for all coming on. I really appreciate it. I'm going to head off now, and I'll see you in a fortnight. Feel free to find me on barrowman79. My name's Andy and I'm a compulsive gambler. Last bet 14th of April 2007. Thank you guys.